Hey, what's going on, guys? It's LuceyGoosey or Kyle, and welcome back to another video here on the channel. We are back with the Universal Pokemon League, the UPL. As you all know and love, we're here with week number 6. If you guys didn't know, our Chicago Beavers are 5-0 on the season, and we're going for another win right here in week 6. We just won a 6-0 match, and the week before we had a 6-0 match, so hopefully we can keep those streaks going. But anyways, you guys can see right there, Team Eclipse versus Team Twice Bryce and Joshy Poo. You can see that at the bottom of the screen there with Dragon versus me, Polly versus Jake, and Icarus versus Mandy. That's what was going on last week, and of course we picked up a 6-0 victory. Jake picked up a 5-0 victory, and unfortunately, Mandy lost 2-0. So we did get the 2-1 win with a pretty good differential, with a +9 differential that week. So really good for us this week. But anyways, I'll get into the team that we're bringing this week. Alrighty, guys, so this is the team that we're going up against this week. You can see Mega Aggron, Latias, Staraptor, Tentacruel, Crocodile, Electros, Pyroar, Clefable, Chestnut, Ambipom, and Zoroark. Very good team right there. The stats are up to date with how our league's going right now, but you guys really shouldn't know how the stats are going, resulting in the battle. But anyways, we have Spyro the Dragon. You guys can see the team we're bringing on the left. I'll show you guys their sets and everything in 1 second. Let me just get to that page. Boom. I don't know if it's going to be zoomed in. No, it's not. Cool. Alright, so the first set that we're bringing Spyro the Salamence with Firium Z. We're bringing a special one this week. Actually, a really bulky special one. You guys can see here, we only have 20 investment in speed. That's just to outspeed anything speed creeping. I don't even, it was like uninvested Finny maybe. I don't remember exactly. But anyways, 236 HP with 252 special attack with the Firium Z Fire Blast to buff that Mega Aggron. Should be able to kill, especially if we get rocks up. And like after rocks, it's 100% guaranteed. Without rocks, it's basically guaranteed. If he runs Spidef, if he runs full Fizdef, then it's going to be a little bit of a different story because it's going to bop him anyways. We also have Draco Meteor, Roost Toxic. I'm fully expecting an Unaware Clefable because of Dragon Dance Salamence. Clefable just checks that 100%. So we don't really have anything to hit Clefable, but we do have that Toxic, which if it's unaware, then the Toxic will affect it, which is really nice. Next Pokemon we're bringing is going to be Rotom. Bringing dual screens Rotom this week. Hot Hands is coming back with the Light Clay. Volt Switch, Will-O-Wisp, Reflect, Light Screen. Honestly, just there to burn some physical attackers. If we can burn the Aggron, that's kind of cool. And a couple of other ones like Chestnut, a couple things like that. Can't remember his team completely off the top of my head. Next Pokemon we are bringing is Jirachi. You guys can see we're bringing a pretty standard Jirachi, except you know, sometimes you see physical Jirachi, sometimes you see special. We're bringing special, but we're bringing Scarf, which works out really well. Flash Cannon, Psychic, Moonblast, U-Turn. I think it's pretty nice right there. U-Turn's going to help us get momentum, and everything else just hits things hard, which is awesome. Aggron does get a free switch into this, but we do have that U-Turn that hopefully will help us get into Spyro. Next Pokemon we're bringing is Hariyama. Hariyama can put in a lot of work in this match if it gets in the right moments. Of course, there are a lot of good switch-ins like Tentacruel and stuff like that, but it does do a lot of damage to most of his team. So hopefully Hariyama can get put in the right spot. We do have the Assault Vest just so we can tank special hits a little bit easier. One of these weeks I'll bring the Guts Flame Orb set in and cause some havoc, but right now we're bringing the Assault Vest set, which still should be pretty good. Next Pokemon we are bringing is going to be our Mega Gyarados. Our second way to win this match is with Mega Gyarados, or actually one of our primary ways. It's either Jirachi or Mega Gyarados, or Salamence could do it as well with like a Stall Breaker set. But yeah, we got a nice bulky Mega Gyarados, 88 in HP, which doesn't make it super bulky, but of course his natural bulk is pretty decent. We also have 252 in attack and 168 plus in speed. That speed is there to outspeed, I think, almost everything. It's there to outspeed some sort of Scarfer. I can't remember. I built this team a long time ago, but I tried to go pretty normal on our speed creeps, but this was a little bit different. I can't remember what it was. It was like either his fastest Pokemon or something Scarfed on his team. I could just check right now. Let's see. It was to outspeed. I think it was Scarfed Electros after a Dragon Dance. So that's probably what it was. That would make the most sense. And yeah, anyways, moving on, we also have our Solid Snake Steelix, which I've actually really enjoyed using Steelix so far this season. And we've got the Earthquake, Heavy Slam, Stealth Rock, Roar. Pretty standard Steelix set. We do have a lot of Spidef, and that's just to take hits from Clefable in case he's Flamethrower. We can take a Flamethrower from Clefable and hit that thing back with a Heavy Slam. Also, with the leftovers, it's going to help us stay around a lot longer. And rocks are kind of important, especially if it's unaware Clef, because Clef is kind of hard for our team to break down, if you guys couldn't tell by the team builder. Anyways, we're going to head into the match right here. And yeah, we'll see what team he brought. Alrighty guys, we are back with the battle. You can see the team that he brought on screen. Calexto brought a pretty interesting team. Most of the stuff I did expect. I'm assuming the Electros is AV because why would you bring Electros any other way? But like Scarfed Electros can put in work as well. So I did prep for that a little bit. Chestnut I'm assuming is like Rocky Helmet just to, you know, check some of my physical threats, especially like Hariyama if he expected that. Like I said, I think that Clefable's unaware, so I might have to try to predict some Clefable like Toxic strats or something like that. Hopefully Mega Aggron isn't Spadef, and we can kill that with our Salamence. The two things that I'm kind of afraid of are Scarfed Moxie Crocodile, but we did bring our Scarfed Jirachi to deal with that, because otherwise then we'd get bopped by Crocodile. And we also have like Rotom, which is a pretty good check, especially if we can burn it. And then he has Tentacruel, which we don't have super great prep for, but we do have a couple of things. Like we do have Jirachi, which can, you know, do a lot of damage to Tentacruel, and a couple of other things that can weaken it a little bit. Anyways, we're gonna click the play button right here and see what happens. It's been a while since I watched this match, so I'm not gonna be 100% like all-knowing what happens. But anyways, he's gonna go for Spiky Shield, and this Chestnut is actually gonna be a pretty big problem for us in this match, just because it's really hard for us to take it down. So he keeps going for these Spiky Shields, and I get my Reflect up, which is really important because it's gonna allow us to freely switch out in the Jirachi. He does get the Leech Seed, but our Psychics are going to be doing a ton of damage, so I believe I make the hard switch out, expecting the Aggron, and he's actually going to stay in and go for the Spiky Shield, which isn't terrible because we do have that Fire Blast. I'm going to drop a Toxic, expecting the Clef, but here we go. We're going to go for the Z Fire Blast, and we're going to bop this thing down to 13%, so Rocks wouldn't have actually helped us too much. He was actually pretty specially defensive, but we do see the Clef come in here, and he got his Rocks up, which is unfortunate. But we're going to have to switch out. I don't want to stay in. I want to figure out this set. And we can see he has Protect. So I don't know what he was scouting out there for. But he does have the Protect. And that's not going to be the greatest. I tried to predict a switch right there out in the Tentacruel, but it's not going to happen. So on this play, I think I go for my Rocks, which is still good. So he's going to predict me to stay in. And I'm just going to start switching things around. He did get the Lead Seed off, which isn't great because now like phasing isn't going to be as good. But we're going to see what Crook set he is. I wanted to get the Intimidate off. We're going to see that he is a very strong Crook. He's actually banded, and we're able to live too. He gets kind of a low roll. He got a pretty high roll the first time and then a low roll the second time, or like a mid roll. So we get a little bit lucky there, but we're going to heal up to full, and here we're going to make a great prediction. We're going to stay and go for the Toxic as he actually goes for the Wish. So we get the Toxic off on this Clefable, which is really nice. And at this point, we get the free switch in to our Steelix because at this point, it doesn't look like he has Flamethrower. So I'm going to click, I believe, Roar on this play as he switches out into Crocodile. Let's find out. No, I clicked Heavy Slam. I wanted to get that damage off on the Clef because it's such a problem. So we're going to eat up this Earthquake, and we're going to set out our own Earthquake. And predicting him to switch out, I think I also switch out. But I get a pretty bad switch if I remember. No, I go for Roar. See, these are the reasons why I should watch the battle before I record it. Anyways, we're in against his Mega Aggron, and we're going to pick up a kill with Steelix, dropping the first Pokemon in the game 20 turns into the match. So it's been a really good match so far. I don't want to lose any more health than I have to on my Steelix, so we're going to go switch out into our Spyro the Dragon on this Chestnut, as Drain Punch does absolutely nothing, and I can actually just roost up in his face, as he's going to go for Drain Punch again, which is going to do a little bit more because we lose that Flying type. Anyways, we're going to go for a Fire Blast. We're not going to get the burn, but he is going to miss the Leech Seed, which helps us out a lot because it's allowing us to do a little bit more in this match. So expecting him to switch out, we're going to go out into a Rotom, and we get the prediction almost correct. We do switch out, but not into a good Pokemon. Tentacruel is going to be tough for us to deal with. So he goes for the Rapid Spin, and now our Rocks are gone, which isn't the greatest thing because Electros is still sitting there at 100%, which is not fun. But we're going to knock off this thing's Black Sludge, and Hariyama is already reduced to not doing much in this match, but we do a lot of damage to the Tentacruel, which is really nice because it was tough for us to deal with, and now it's down to just 7%. So Hariyama puts in the work it needs to for our Jirachi to come out now and just click U-turn. So that's exactly what we're going to do, and we're going to pick up the kill on Tentacruel. I'm going to go out into Steelix because I want to see what his main response is, and I'm assuming it's still going to be that Chestnut, which it is. He's trying to get that health back up, which just gives our Spyro a free switch in every time because he has no Ice move on this thing, which means that we get the Roost up every single time this thing comes in. I did want to go for the Fire Blast in case he switched out, so I do go for the Roost right here. And it's just the Toxic's going to keep racking up on this thing. Unfortunately, Wish Protect is going to be a little bit tough to deal with. So at this point, I'm willing to sack off my Spyro and win the game with my Jirachi. So I kind of leave it in right there on the flamethrower. And at this point, I'm like, okay, well, I can try to catch him on a few predictions right here. So we get the free switch out, and he shows the flamethrower, which makes me really scared because our Steelix can't really live it from this point. But we get the prediction right on the protect, and we get our rocks up, which is just really nice. So at this play, we couldn't have lived a flamethrower, but I believe I still stay in and go for the heavy slam. And we're not going to kill the chestnut. It's going to stay around this game a little bit longer. It's going to get the drain punch off. As you guys can see, we're really bulky, and I'm trying to get the Electros in because I need damage on the Electros to win with Jirachi in the late game. So he's going to go for a wish as we're actually going to knock out his Clefable. Finally, he could have went for flamethrower there and knocked us out, but luckily he didn't end up going in. I think he over-predicted a little bit too much. And at this point, Chestnut's not going to be doing too much after it gets the wish because it can't really heal up that much anymore unless he can get a big drain punch off on Steelix or like make a Gyarados. But we're going to get the Toxic off finally on this thing. It's been sitting around all day, and we still have to worry about Banded Crocodile in the back. So we get Electros off. Finally, we do confirm the AV, which is really nice because at this point, we can beat it down with Toxic. And Spyro is just putting in so much work for us. It's only at 15%, but we can roost up on this thing, especially because now we resist his Thunderbolts when we lose the Flying type. So, although the Leaf Seed is healing him up, that Toxic damage is going to stack, and we're going to keep gaining health. So, I believe on the next turn, he goes for a different move as we go for the Roost, or maybe I over-predict and switch out. Oh, he actually switches out. That's what happened. I knew it didn't last forever. So, he goes out in the Crook, which is going to get a little bit of health back, which isn't great, but Scarf Jirachi is always going to be able to take this thing down. But we're going to get the kill with our Salamence. I didn't want to risk the Fire Blast, and I guess they both have chances to miss, but Draco's a little bit better. So we're going to go out. I didn't see anything that this thing could do to hurt us. It could have Flamethrower as well, so we're going to see if he has it, and he does, and it's going to knock us down to 1%, which is kind of crazy. I don't think that had a chance to kill because he was AV, but we'll have to find out. I never did the calc, so I don't know. But he's now sitting at 11%, which means Jirachi is going to clean up this game and click Psychic twice. So I feel like this game was really good. I think I prepped really well for this one. You know, there was a few misplays that I made, especially like that double out into Rotom Heat and he switched out into Tentacruel. That was something I definitely should have seen happening because we were clicking Fire Blast and Tentacruel was going to eat that up. So there's a few doubles that I made misplays on, but I think I really won this game in team prep. Scarf Jirachi did put in a lot of work, and a Stall Breaker special Salamence was just something he wasn't ready for. And we were able to predict a lot of his team prep. I figured that Unaware Clef was a for sure bring, and the other thing that I figured was AV Electros, and we were able to deal with that really well, bringing Toxic on Salamence, which is able to break down his team so much to the point that like even Steelix was able to put in work. We made a few like simple plays that he over predicted on, which helped us in the long run, but I think just the combination of Jirachi and Salamence wins that game anyways. So our Steelix did help us out a lot in that match, but I don't think we necessarily needed it. And we also had Gyarados, who never even really hit the field, I don't think. So the match did last 52 turns, and Calexto played really well. And yeah, it was. I think honestly, this is the best game that I've ever played between prep and battling. So GG to Calexto and his team this week. I had a great match, or I had a great time in the match. So yeah, that's gonna do it for our week 6 match. Your Chicago B-Barrels go to 6-0. Next week we're taking on Ninetales, so we'll see if we can beat him. But hopefully you guys did all enjoy this week's match for the UPL. I'm out for now. Peace.